Okay, Josh Raven here with the Daily Dot at IEM Katowice, joined by Karrigan from Team Astralis, obviously semi-finalists here, couldn't quite make it to the final, but we'll touch on that later. First of all, I do want to take it back to the group stage, because that was actually a pretty good time of your tournament here, because you went 5-0, I believe it was. First of all, let me talk me through your preparation coming into Katowice, and were you expecting to have such a strong start to the tournament?
I think we had many problems the last few months. I think we didn't find our own playstyles, and I think in the summer last year we had a very unique playing style, which fit the meta back then, and then somehow we moved away from what we feel confident in. So we had a long talk the last 2 or 3 tournaments how to change the things that we love to do and what people want to do, and that's getting some confidence in the player and changing our playstyle, especially as T. And that was our biggest preparation for this tournament, and I think that showed in many games how we are confident doing our T sides, even though we also picked T side on Inferno against Fnatic, for example. So we are more confident on our T side than our C side lately, and that shows also in games where we feel like we need to be strong on that side than our C side. Preparation-wise to the group stages, if you go through the matches, I was quite surprised what maps we were able to play against different teams. In my opinion, the 2 first matches, VP and Envy, made a big mistake in their veto against us, and I took instantly advantage of that. And that also shows we have a big map pool because we played 5 different maps against 5 different enemies in the group stage.
Okay, what do you think it would, going something like 5-0 in the group, having a really strong start to the tournament, is that relieving for you? Does that kind of make you feel better going into the latter stages and more confident in your team, or does it just or do you stay down to earth and stay prepared, stay focused?
I mean, especially now when we had these issues where we couldn't find ourselves in many games, and we often felt like we shouldn't win games sometimes, but we did. I feel all the 5 games we had in the group stage, we were so much in front and we were so confident doing what we like to do, that actually was good for us to regain some momentum and some confidence, especially on LAN, where we have, in my opinion, not succeeded so good lately. Have mixed result, not that bad, but not that good like we want to do. So doing 5-0 in group stage made us more motivated and more confident in the way we play, and sadly it wasn't enough against a Fnatic team who is, in my opinion, above everyone else in the moment, and that also show in the playoff they only lose 1 map out of 3 games, and that's just superior compared to other teams.
Well, we talk about Fnatic, obviously you did fall to them in the semi-final in that 2-1 loss. They're looking extremely strong, obviously went on to the final, beat Luminosity 3-0, not really a contest. What is it going to take for someone to come in and truly beat Fnatic or take them on as the #1 team in the world, and what is it about them that just means they can stay there?
I think the team has so much potential aim-wise and game-wise that the tactical approach doesn't even matter for me. Somehow they always find themselves in a 3v3, 2v2, and they're all making so good decisions and they play so good individual that it doesn't really matter if the enemies are playing perfectly. They can just play the fundamentals so good that actually you don't need to have more advanced tactics or have a unique playing style like other teams has in the competition. So for me, it's especially the 5 players they have there so individually good, and in my opinion, they're top 10. Those 5 players top 10 in the world. So they're hard to compete with, in my opinion. What you can do is, of course, hoping for them to lose 5% of the edge they have against all enemies. When they lose their first real best of 3 going out of semi-final, I think you always start to look at problems suddenly, because why we didn't win, and then you start thinking about stuff, maybe we should change this and this and this. So once they get into that mentality again, then I think they'll be able to beat. But right now they're winning 6 out of 6 tournaments. You won't change anything. You just play more YOLO, because you know even if JV dies stupid in a round, 9 out of 10 times it works, and the one time it doesn't work, they can play 4 versus 5 that round. So they just believe in all players, even though it's a 1-on-3, 1-on-2, they're always able to win those rounds.
Well, one team who definitely felt the experience of that was Luminosity in the final, and we'll talk about as well their man Tempo Storm, obviously the Brazilian team coming in. Both fairly surprising results, did pretty good. Tempo Storm perhaps not expected to get out of the group stage even, and Luminosity making it to the grand final. Were you surprised by their performance here?
I'm not surprised by going to the final. I mean, since their lineup changed, they have only one time not made the semi-finals, so them going to a final is not it's just not shocking for me, because the way they play and the passion they have about the game, the motivation is just beyond all other teams. Look at how Fnatic is celebrating with the win. It's just a casual win, right? And LG, every time they play, they're just more passionate, more focused, and And I like that some people should learn from that. Even though maybe you don't have the 5 best players in the world, you're still able to reach the top level because of the passion and the team you're playing and the way you're playing and competing against other teams. So I think Tempo Storm is definitely a big surprising for me in the tournament. I mean, I only saw videos how they were passionate like LG is, and if you also look at Splice at the major MLG qualified, it's just when you're so passionate and you're playing a team who think they should win, it's already a 50-50 game for me, in just mind game wise, and that showed in Tempo Storm when they played everyone. Even though they're behind, I think 12-3 as Tia and Cash against us, they somehow found a way into the game, and they were close to beating us and going directly to the semifinals. So, hats up for them. And the most important for me is now that they keep on doing it, just like LG did at the Face It first time they did it. Keep on progressing, keep on working, and just not take 5% off the gas pedal. Just keep it going down like LG did.
Yeah, well, we can hope for them. Unfortunately, they won't be going to the MLG that's coming up, the MLG Major that's coming up next month, but you guys will. First off, I guess we can talk about the prize pool increase, because obviously it's gone up to 1 million per major. Does that kind of prize pool increase even matter to you? Does it make you feel more motivated, more incentivized to play, or is it just another win that you want to get?
I mean, we always want to win the major. It's no surprise that it's a trophy you have been hungry for a long time and not even reach a final of a real major by Valve. So of course we want to win, but the prize will, of course, to give it a little motivation. But for me, it's still important. Motivation is the trophy. It's not the money. It's good that money is coming into esports because it gives more fans, it gives more publicity, it gives bigger brands. Everything is connected to each other, and I think it's the right time to increase the prize pool by 400%. So I'm just glad that happened, and of course, who wouldn't be happy to win 500k in the final? But for me, major is still major, and it doesn't matter if it's 250k or 1 million k. We still want to win that tournament, no matter what, because it means that's much more to us than other tournaments.
And finally, obviously, it's just about a month away now, I believe. What are your plans looking like for the next month in preparation? Are you going to be going hard for that, or are you going to be kind of taking it easy for a little while?
I mean, we're coming home now, and I think we have some 4 ECA matches, like 8 maps online before the major. And then we have a small local tournament in Croatia, where I think some other top teams are participating in Counterpit League. And that's our last turn before the major. And then obviously we're going to do a 6-day boot camp. It's the longest boot camp we ever did before a tournament. We figure out it's time to prepare on enemies at that time, so we do together as a team instead of I'm doing all the job alone, and the coach can have more influence on our game style and how we practice. So basically it's going to be a boot camp right up to the major, and then we're leaving together from Copenhagen to the major.